Once again, I thank you for your expert assistance for uploading the presentation and sharing the screen. Thank you. Now we go ahead with the talk. Greetings to Nursing Tour 25, Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. Online, globally, dynamically interactive platform today. It is a pleasure and a privilege for me, Dr. Soumya Pandey, PhD, Life Sciences, recently worked as Head Department of Clinical Research, Intra IVF Hospital, Udaipur, Lucknow, India, to present the talk titled Human Chorionic Gonadotropin Trigger-Mediated Ovulation Induction in Tobacco-Mediated Infertility Management in North Indian Women Undergoing IVF ICSI Regimens, a pilot reproductive medicine study with public health impact, and the session, Improving Patient Education, Care and Outcomes. May I request the slide transition for a seamless, smooth presentation? Thank you. Let's go ahead with the talk. A quick snapshot of clinical research. Objectives. Infertility is a global public health problem. Cost-effective, patient-friendly treatment modalities along with psychosexual intervention strategies are indeed essential for tobacco-mediated infertility control prevention management among ethnically disparate populations worldwide with varying lifestyles. My pilot innovative study with thrust on nursing public health aimed to assess human chorionic gonadotropin trigger-mediated ovulation induction and differential in vitro fertilization trends. May I request the slide? Slides had been uploaded. Please share the screen from your end. We were on the previous slide. Maybe go a slide back. The previous one, yes. Thank you. Thank you once again. My pilot innovative study with emphasis on nursing public health aimed to assess human chorionic gonadotropin trigger-mediated ovulation induction and differential IVF success trends amongst infertile women of North Indian ethnicity. Materials and methods. This was a prospective study designed in a hospital-based setting with enrollment of infertile women undergoing IVF intracytoplasmic sperm injection, ICSI, at Intra IVF Center, Lucknow, UP, India. Large sample size of 910 women with timeline April to September 2002. Inclusion criteria: age more than 35 years, North Indian ethnicity, married more than 1 year, absence of full term, clinical pregnancy, cervical cancer, endometriosis. IVF success was determined by evaluating total frozen embryos transferred per month, average HCG positivity, fetal cardiac activity, and Mycobacterium tuberculosis positivity was assessed by gene expert, polymerase chain reaction-based technology, and psychosexual intervention, incorporated marital relationship counseling sessions therapy, referrals for psychiatric assessments, primary cognitive impairment, schizophrenia, depression. Tobacco usage was ascertained using bilingual. I request the conference secretariat and the moderator to please assist in uploading the presentation and having a smooth, seamless flow of the talk. Thank you. That looks great. Bilingual questionnaire, English, Hindi dialects with supporting registered nurses, and written informed consent of participants was taken with the study being approved by IRB. Next slide, please. May I request the transition to the next slide? Clinical research snapshot. The intervention planning for ovulation induction had a protocol for AMH, FSH, titers, and cutoffs being assessed. Color Doppler imaging modality for detecting the uterus torsion, MTB positivity by gene expert PCR-based technology, psychosexual interventions, and referrals for psychiatric assessments. Recombinant Efficit started at a dose of 300 IU or a combination therapy in an antagonist protocol on day 2. An antagonist 0.25 started when lead follicle size was 12 mm. HCG trigger 250 microgram was administered when major cohort of follicles was 16 to 19 mm in size. Embryo freezing was done on day 3 to 5 using vitrification, and subsequent freeze-thaw embryo transfer was performed during subsequent hormone replacement cycles, and the oocyte quality were carefully assessed. Sterile lab conditions were strictly maintained to avoid any technical sources of error, and clinically relevant determinants of IVF success rates amongst infertile women residing in Lucknow, UP included successful frozen embryo transfers, quality of oocytes retrieval, M2 oocytes yield, implantation rate, biochemical pregnancy, beta-HCG positivity, and ultrasound-based pregnancy confirmation with live birth per IVF procedure, safety assessments including adverse drug reactions, either local or systemic, and ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. Transition to the next. Next slide, please. Results. Mean age and endometrial thickness of study participants were 34.1 years, standard deviation 0.8, and 9.1 mm, standard deviation 0.2, respectively. Average BMI and anti-Mullerian hormone levels were 25 kilogram per meter square and 2.2 nanogram per ml. Embryos transferred for a month, 123 April, 165 for May, 183 June, 159 July, 139 August, 141 September, and pregnancies beta-HCG positivity 96, 134, 145, 120, 106, 113, which was a promising IVF ICSI trend for months of April to September 2020. Further subgroup stratification demonstrated N2 versus total oocytes retrieved was 70%, 68, 71, 72, 77, 67%, and overall IVF success rates were 78, 81, 80, 75, 76, and 82% between April to September, differential IVF trends in a 6-month timeline. Very promising results with good IVF success trends in North Indian women residing in Lucknow, UP State, India. Frozen embryo transfer success was 72%, 78, 70, 69, 63, and 77% for September. MTB positivity was 55.6%, while human papillomavirus positivity was 12.0%, and self-reported tobacco usage 100% response rate, which was a good determinant of convincing evidence-based, public health-oriented pilot exploratory study data sets, was significantly associated with aberrant fetal cardiac activity, higher trends of intrauterine growth restriction, and stillbirths with significant peak less than 0.05. English Hindi speaking infertile women self-reported treatment-related satisfaction rates of 80 to 100%, warranting future collaborative efforts. So let's join hands today at Nursing Tour 25 for addressing the emerging trends, the breakthroughs, bottlenecks, and ever-expanding challenges for evidence-based, pragmatic, patient-friendly protocols for management of cost-effective modalities for addressing the increasing burden of reproductive disorders, including infertility in women of varying lifestyles. Next slide, please. Conclusions into oocytes yield sociodemographics of infertile women and increasing age aberrant anti-Mullerian hormone, BMI profiles, endometrial receptivity, diminished ovarian reserve are promising predictors of IVF ICSI success in genetically distinct patient population subsets. And my study had the Indian, Asia Pacific, North Indian ethnic population pool for the study, primarily North Indian women, with a large sample size for getting statistically powered, evidence-based, convincing data sets with a sample size of 910 women. So future multicentric gene epidemiology association public health-oriented studies with nursing interventions are warranted for development of predictive biomarkers in infertility management post-COVID-19 Omicron global pandemic, and the vaccination era, and identifying aberrant microbiome at the intricate maternal-fetal interface, the complex labyrinth tilting the embryonic fetal fate towards stillbirth or death. Next slide. Clinically relevant burning questions that demand immediate attention of the scientific clinical research community worldwide, whether oocyte maturational competence and integrity, sperm function, as well as quality pre-embryo culture conditions, pre-embryo morphology, and ovarian age are emerging as significant physiological, immunobiological factors for determining a successful implantation and a pregnancy outcome in a specific subset of infertile women of ethnically disparate populations. So the thrust being, I put the question, would and should receptors and inhibitors in cell signaling biochemical metabolic signaling pathways be the eventual cost-effective predictive and prognostic biomarkers in infertility management in the near future, so as to reduce the increasing psychosexual and financial distress, the challenges associated with infertility treatment amongst infertile couples of different socioeconomic strata in American dollars, Indian rupees, at reproductive medicine laboratories, medical centers, stringently managed by a highly qualified reproductive medicine healthcare expert. Next slide, please. So infertility can be managed at the population level and at the individual level with the viral integration in the germline that may be transmitted to the offspring and transmission to embryos development and abnormalities leading to viral chronicity. So we need to address the problem of infertility, primarily the Mycobacterium tuberculi associated infertility. I'm trying to have the presentation in the full screen mode. Okay, that looks great. Next slide, please. Clinical research, we just talked about receptors being targeted for predictive biomarker development and biology of toll-like receptors emerging trends. Landmark paper published by me as the first author, lead author, Soumya Pandey in Immunology and Cell Biology on August 6, 2006 from Biomedical Sciences, School of Medicine, Creighton University, Omaha, Nebraska, USA. So I asked the question that should and would toll-like receptors, a family of evolutionary conserved pathogen recognition receptors, play pivotal roles as primary sensors of invading pathogens. TLRs identify molecular motifs of infectious agents, primarily viral host proteins, even bacterial peptides, with which they share sequence similarities. So far, 10 TLRs have been known in humans, and the adapter proteins myeloid differentiation factor 88 and the toll-like receptor 1 domain containing adapter-inducing interferon beta TRIF are the key players in the TLR complex signaling pathway, leading to the upregulation of cytokines and chemokines, which tilt the normal physiological milieu of a cell in the host towards the inflammatory milieu with the upregulation of inflammatory cytokines and chemokines, leading to reproductive malignancies, disorders, including infertility, such as Mycobacterium tuberculi-mediated infertility, and even human papillomavirus-mediated cervical cancer. So the future is there for targeting the entire enigmatic array of toll-like receptors for eventual predictive and biomarker development for infertility management. Next slide, please. Toll-like receptors have their respective ligands, TLRs 1 to 10, as I just discussed, triacyl lipopeptides, lipoproteins, heat shock proteins, endotoxin, LPS, primarily for TLR4. Next slide, please. Now we address the complexity associated with TLRs. I just talked about the different set of ligands in the toll-like receptor pathway, TLRs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and TLRs 3 and 4. All TLRs work via the MyD88 TYRAP signaling pathway, leading to pro-inflammatory cytokines and chemokines upregulation, while the TLR3 works via the TRIF-mediated pathway, leading to caspase recruitment, which has been implicated in apoptosis and upregulation of type 1 interferons. So TLRs may be therapeutically targeted for predictive biomarker development in MTB-mediated infertility, as well as HPV-mediated cervical cancer management. Next slide, please. The psychosexual perspectives in infertility require urgent attention. So I have my expert opinion here. How is infertility management different in terms of quality and cost effectiveness from a public health perspective in India with relatively lower resources in the healthcare ecosystem compared to the Western world? And what is the future of infertility-related patient-centric clinical research in the years to come? Would the advent of high-throughput, sophisticated, precision-based diagnostic imaging, color Doppler modality, infertility management be relatively simple and safe without technical artifacts or possible misdiagnosis in certain cases? And in this context, could missing an accurate diagnosis in the infertile Indian, even ethnically disparate American, British, Australian, African patient cohort mean a high price to pay? And could the patient be lost to follow up? So these are certain limitations, and we need to join hands to deduce an eventual pragmatic, patient-friendly algorithm or a protocol with public health impact. Is there a consensus regarding the patient counseling sessions organized at infertility clinics worldwide, subjected to gender-specific, male and female only individualized counseling, so that the blame game amongst the infertile couples may not lead to marital discord, leading to subsequent psychosexual, psychosocial stigma, depression, anxiety, or social withdrawal? Next slide, please. The entire cost of infertility treatment should be assessed, and constraints in setting up nodal centers, eliminating the blame game amongst infertile couples. Is it the husband or the wife who is responsible for childlessness? So there should not be any marital discord, and that's where the psychosexual perspective and the counselors and expert nurses come into play, so as to diminish the psychosocial, psychosexual perspectives associated with infertility management. Compromising of embryo quality and culture media, including temperature variations and historic conditions, may eventually lead to ambiguous and contradictory IVF outcomes in ethnically disparate patient populations: North Indian, North American, Danish, African, Australian, American, British. So could these issues be handled by ensuring routine lab inspections by a designated quality control assurance scientific officer, even qualified registered nurses at infertility clinic medical centers worldwide, and micromanipulation and instrument-based experimental troubleshoots, artifacts in reproductive medicine research should be critically and stringently addressed to avoid erroneous and or failed IVF results. Next slide, please. Mean age and endometrial thickness of study participants were 34.1 years and 9.1 mm, with standard deviations of 0.8 and 0.2 respectively. Average BMI and AMH levels were 25 kg per meter square and 2.2 nanogram per ml. Embryos transferred were significant: 123, 165, 183, 159, 139, 141 for April to September 6-month timeline, with a considerably large 910 North Indian women with infertility and pregnancies. Beta HCG positivity results were promising, with 96, 134, 145, 120, 106, 113 for the respective April to September 2020 timeline in 910 women of North Indian ethnicity. Subgroup stratification demonstrated M2 was total oocytes retrieved 70%, 68%, 71%, 72%, 77%, and 67%. So these differential trends in IVF and ICSI overall highlight the evidence-based, pragmatic public health impact of my exploratory study, warranting future dynamic collaborations in multi-centric, multi-ethnic cohorts At overall IVF success rates was 78% for April, 81% for May, 80% for June, 75% for July, 76% for August, 82% for September, while frozen embryo transfer success was 72%, 78%, 70%, 69%, 63%, and 77% for September. So good results between 72, 80% in a comparatively small, short timeline, but the study strength being the large sample size, once again, of 910 women. So we may have multicentric, multi-ethnic, large population pools of diverse ethnicities and lifestyles of reproductive age women for addressing MTB and HPV positivity related trends. MTB was 55.6%, while HPV positivity 12.0%, and self-reported tobacco use 100%, a very high response rate, significantly associated with aberrant fetal cardiac activity, while higher trends of intrauterine I request the transition to the slide. That looks strict. Moreover, IVF success rates, primary endpoints, clinical pregnancy, live birth rates remain relatively low, primarily because of implantation failure amongst infertile cohorts belonging to diverse ethnicity. This has been published by me as the senior lead author in Journal of Psychosexual Health in 2021, and with my scientific and clinical research experience, expertise in biomedical research at premier medical centers in the United States of America, including Texas, New York, and Nebraska Midwest, and quality interactions with Asian Indian patients, I strongly advocate the timely implementation of cost-effective, community-based tobacco cessation infertility management guidelines, stringent protocols with expert scientific and clinical team, with registered expert nurses, with robust public health research models in the specific population subsets of varying genetic landscapes and socioeconomic strata. Next slide, please. I speculate that oxidative stress caused by tobacco in the physiological milieu may be diminished by therapeutically targeting specific metabolical biochemical signaling pathways, primarily the enigmatic array of toll-like receptors, which we discussed, leading to the upregulation of cytokines and chemokines in the inflammatory complex maternal-fetal interface with cellular stress, death, immunomodulation, and inflammation. And in this context, tobacco-mediated DNA damage, altered aberrant sperm morphology motility, and diminished ovarian reserve endometrial receptivity, thin endometrium less than 6 millimeter in both female and male clinical infertility may be studied extensively by creating biorepositories or biobanks at designated medical centers globally, including Asia Pacific region, India. This has been published by me in Indian Fertility Society as the senior lead author in Fertility Science Research 2017. Next slide, please. In my expert opinion, stored patient clinical specimens, namely blood tissue DNA, RNA, sperms, embryos, and stem cells from the biobanks, biorepositories, may be strategically utilized for multicentric, multi-ethnic, cohort-based pharmacogenetics, genomics, causal association, epidemiological, large sample size-based studies for the eventual development of predictive biomarkers and of therapeutic drugs, primarily targeting the enigmatic array of toll-like receptors for well-defined infertility patient population subsets of varying lifestyles, including the tobacco-using subgroups of female and male patients with infertility and at-risk susceptible tobacco-consuming individuals prone to susceptibility for infertility from random populations of varying genetic profiles and lifestyles. So today we at the Nursing 2025 Las Vegas, Nevada, USA virtual online meeting need to join hands for addressing future challenges and the bottlenecks associated with the management of evidence-based, pragmatic, patient-friendly protocols for diminishing the ever-expanding and the challenging disproportionate share associated with infertility management, as well as other reproductive malignancies and other malignancies or disorders associated with women of varying lifestyles worldwide. So we should have a dynamic collaborative team of expert scientists, of expert clinical medicine, good practice research practitioners with stringent bioethics and registered expert nurses for creating a globally public health-oriented, impactful protocol for management of complex diseases. Next slide, please. Publications: Tobacco as a significant predictor of infertility, a public health perspective in an Indian scenario. This was published in Fertility Science Research, which is the Indian Fertility and Artificial Intelligence in Embryonic Induction and Fertility Management, Translational Health, Biomedical Life Sciences, Research Snapshot in American and Indian Genetic Landscapes. So there is a lot of thrust on therapeutic targeting of the enigmatic array of toll-like receptors, autophagy, the Wnt CRISPR-Cas, inflammatory, metabolic biochemical pathways, artificial intelligence algorithms for infertility management worldwide with translational public health impact. Another paper in Fertility Journal, Journal of Psychosexual Health, with Soumya Pandey as the senior lead author, Human Chorionic Gonadotropin Trigger-Mediated Ovulation Induction in Infertility Management in South Indian Women Undergoing IVF-ICSI Regimens, a pilot sexual medicine study with public health perspective. Next slide, please. Recently, I published as the senior lead author in Clinical Research and Reports in 2024, Toll-like Receptors and Artificial Intelligence in Fertility Management, Clinical Research Snapshot in United States of America and Asia-Pacific Genetic Landscapes. Intriguingly, the emergence of artificial intelligence in fertility medicine, clinical research undoubtedly offers myriad immunopharmacological opportunities to demystify the intricacies involved in tobacco-mediated infertility for achieving the quadruple objectives: improving patient experience, enhancing productivity, along with efficacy in evidence-based pragmatic healthcare delivery, improving population health, transcribing prescriptions, treating patients remotely virtually, and diminishing per-person healthcare expenses, and increasing the working conditions of healthcare professionals, including nurses worldwide. Artificial intelligence algorithms, evidence-based protocols are extensively used in healthcare arena, including accuracy-based diagnostics, development of treatment protocols, medication research, and therapeutic customized, tailor-made treatment regimens, clinical risk assessment stratification, healthcare data privacy security, image quality analysis, and the digital health, artificial intelligence associated robotics, and healthcare monitoring and active surveillance. So there is a lot of clinical research and public health impact on toll-like receptors and artificial intelligence in fertility management worldwide. Next slide, please. May I request the transition to the next slide? What will the audience learn from Dr. Pandey's Nursing 2025 Las Vegas, Nevada, USA virtual online presentation today? My promising reproductive medicine study emphasizes that N2 oocytes yield sociodemographics of infertile women and increasing age-aberrant anti-Mullerian hormone, body mass indices, endometrial receptivity, diminished ovarian reserve are promising predictors of IVF-ICSI success in genetically distinct patient population subsets of varying lifestyles. Future Multicentric Collaborative Gene Epidemiology Association Public Health Studies with psychosexual interventions are warranted for development of predictive biomarkers in conjunction with the emerging role of artificial intelligence in infertility management post-COVID-19 Omicron global pandemic and the mass vaccination era, and identifying the aberrant microbiome at the maternal-fetal interface, the complex labyrinth tilting the embryonic fetal fate towards stillbirth or death. Next slide, please. Acknowledgements. I acknowledge National Institutes of Health, Bethesda, Maryland, United States of America for previously funded biomedical translational research experiences at Schools of Medicine, University of Texas Medical Branch, Galveston, Texas, Creighton University School of Medicine, Omaha, Nebraska, Midwest, USA, New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell Medical College, New York, USA. And this is one of my first pictures, Dr. Samya Pandey's first award at 4 years in hometown Lucknow at her school, Lamatinia Girls College, Lucknow, India, at learning the intricacies of the real world as a child with the curiosity, with the passion to contribute meaningfully, globally, to address the challenges associated with patient care in the ever-expanding healthcare ecosystem. And I thank Nursing 2025, Las Vegas, Nevada, United States of America, and the meeting Nursing 2025 Conference Secretariat, and my respectful delegates for having their attention today, for giving me a globally, dynamically collaborative, scientifically stimulating, enriching platform for scientific dissemination of emerging and evolving challenges and concepts associated with public health-oriented, meaningful, evidence-based, pragmatic nursing research today. Thank you.